If you've just got your hands and your feet on a looper, you're probably very excited and slightly terrified. What now? I'm going to walk you through the first 5 things you should do with this awesome new toy. Loopers are amazing, but only if you understand the basics. So let's go. Absolute basics. Before we dive in, you need to know your setup. Now, if you have an electric guitar, you plug the jack lead into the looper and then the looper into an amplifier. If you have an acoustic guitar, we have 2 options. Either it's an electroacoustic guitar, so it has a pickup inside it, or you've fitted a pickup onto it, so you can plug the jack lead into the guitar and then into the looper. If you have just an acoustic, your only option is to mic it up. This may take some extra gear to get the signal into the looper. Some loopers have an XLR input, so that's something you would need to do your research about. Regards to hearing the sound from the looper, we can plug the looper into an amplifier or plug it into an audio interface and listen through speakers or headphones. All right, now you're plugged in and you can hear what's going on. Let's get stuck in. Every model has its uniqueness, but the basic functions are the same. Record the first loop, overdub layers, stop playback, resume playback, delete or undo most recent overdub, and delete entire loop. That's your foundation. Don't worry about the fancy stuff yet. This is about getting a feel for how it works. So let's have a go. Record something, doesn't matter what. Overdub some layers. Undo the last overdub. Delete the entire loop. Play around, just get your feet working and get your head used to what this button does. My pedal right now is on a 1-button function, so everything is either tap, double tap, tap, hold, which you'll find in a lot of loopers. Don't overthink it, just make some noise, experiment, get used to that pedal and using it with your foot. Once you're not scared of the buttons anymore, we can move on to something that will make or break every loop you ever record. Timing. Learn to count. Trust me, it may sound boring, but it's so important. If you want to make random soundscapes and just build effects on top of each other, that's completely different. Just have a bit of fun. But if you want to make something that grooves, that is in time, something more like a song, something you can improvise over, it needs to be tight and seamless. If your timing's off, the loop won't loop and it'll come back tripping over itself. Practice counting 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like a little mantra in the back of your head. You don't need to shout it, but you do need to be steady in your rhythm. It may be that you use a metronome to keep yourself honest. The next key ingredient in smooth looping is your foot. Number 3, footwork. Your foot is the start and stop button, literally. So if you don't tap that button at exactly the right time, your loop's toast. Before you even record, practice tapping your foot in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do a quick example using muted strums. We're going to play 4 down strums and tap in on beat 1 and tap out on the following beat 1. And then we'll really hear what a smooth loop sounds like. Count yourself in beforehand. So we start by counting, then we'll tap our foot in time, then we'll bring the muted strum in, then we'll tap on the pedal and then tap out of the pedal after 4 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, 2, 3, 4. Tap. You can give yourself a run up by practicing the timing before you even tap. The goal here is to have your foot and your strumming hand in time like perfect dance partners. Once your foot's steady and your count's right, it's ready to move on to the actual fun bits. Record your first loop. We're going to start simple. We're going to create a bass line. 2 lots of 4 down strums on the 3rd fret of the A string. Then we're going to move to the open A and do the same. 2 lots of 4. Then we're going to move to the 1st fret of the E string, play 1 set of 4, move to the 3rd fret of the E string, play another set of 4, and then return to the 3rd fret of the A string for a final 2 sets of 4. We'll do a practice run before we record so we can get comfortable with it. I'm going to play mine close to the bridge so I can get the muted sound. We need textures to stand out from each other when we're putting loop layers together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you happy with it? Doesn't matter if you're not, just re-record it. It's that simple. Be patient with this step. It's the foundation. Like a foundation of a house, you need it to be solid. If it's solid, everything else that goes on top of it will sound great. Play it back. If it's not smooth, no big deal. Delete it, take a breath, let's go again. Now you've got your rhythm loop down, we can start adding some texture. Introducing 4 chords into the mix. C, A minor, F, G. We're going to play these chords in 1 strum and let them ring out. So on the first bass note, we play the C chord. Then we change to the second bass note, we play the A minor, then to the F, then to the G. Maybe have a couple of practice runs to get the feel for it. I'm strumming close to the neck, so it's a little bit more mellow. I'll talk you through when to change chord. Setting our rhythm track back up. We'll let it come back round again and then press record and begin by strumming the C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, here we go. 3, 4. To A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To F. 1 to G. Back to C. Start. Now we've got that chord wash, we're going to add on some choppy triads. C, A minor, F, G. Play these on the 2 and. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you've got this lovely textural basic 3 layers, have a play around and see if you can add in some little melodies, some fills, maybe a percussive element. At this stage, I like to have a jam. do a bit of improvising. The beauty is the loop goes round and round, so you can experiment, you can get it wrong, you can go back for more. We're in the key of C major, so we can use the C major scale, C major pentatonic, and elements of chord tones. This is my melodic offering. Just remember, when you're layering up loops, don't add on too much. It's like cooking. Every little spice and flavour you put in there is really important, but you don't want to overcrowd it. So we've got our first groove. How's that working out for you? If you follow these 5 steps, you are guaranteed to have lots of fun building up your capabilities. So remember, start simple, practice your counting, get your foot in control and start layering that stuff up. And the people you live with may not see you for some time. Today is my 3rd year anniversary of uploading guitar tutorials onto YouTube. So to celebrate a little bit, I'm going to play us out with a loop version of one of my biggest songs that I did a tutorial for. It's an embellishment of what we've done in the lesson today so far, but with a changed recognizable bass line, the tabs on the screen. So if you want to jam along with me, please do. And if you want to see the full tutorial on the song from back in the day, here it is. I'll see you next time. 1, 2, 3.